All right, we are officially recording.
We are recording now. How
Look at us
exciting.
doing things.
Going places.
Man, aren't we
I'll,
fancy?
I'll drink to that. And this is
I
coffee.
all I have is okay, here. I'll drink to that too. Here is my ice water.
There we go. And this is coffee, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Coffee.
no cheat afternoon. It is coffee, I promise. My my
Okay.
my teeth are all brown, so you know it's coffee.
I can't see your teeth. So, let's start by introducing ourselves, and hopefully, this is the first of many, many, and we get a vast following, and we're
That's right.
recognized in public, and it's just like no pictures, please.
Yes, none. Oh shoot! I lost my earbud. I lost my earbud. Another
I saw
technical.
it. Okay,
We'll get
so
our we'll get our shit together.
we'll get our shit together. Maybe.
All right.
Who knows? So, I am the joyful of the joyfully wild, or the wildly joyful. And
And
that is Wild, actually Tamra Wild, but I'm institutionalized after almost 19 years in prison. And so I call her by her last name. So Wild and I are besties. Fuck the resties. we, gosh, how long have we been friends?
man,
The
I think
boys,
like 2012 because that's when I
the
moved
boys went
down
on the
to
trip.
Florence. Yeah.
Yep.
But even before then we kind of saw each other
Yeah,
like
but
at
I think it
work.
was after that and our trauma bonding for our kids going off on a
Yes,
trip
on that field trip to California no less.
to Catalina Island, right?
It was yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But that yeah, someplace
through
crazy.
California, and
Yeah,
then I was just like convinced that a California driver would take them off the road, and
you
yeah,
were.
I
You
was
were.
I was I was convinced it was going to be the end.
And I thought that I was like worried sick, but yeah, she topped it.
I did. So Tamara and I have spent our time in prison together. And
Yes.
by that, I mean we worked there. We are not cool enough to have committed like felonies. And like we don't have great stories. We had jobs. That's and it has taken us through a lot of highs and lows. And Tamara is lucky enough to be retired as of last November.
Yes.
And I am deeply envious. And I have 16 months and 6 days until I join you in retirement. And I
That
am
is going to be
counting. Absolutely
yes.
counting.
Yes, that's going to be a happy
I
day.
can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes.
So, but this one here was my partner in crime in compassion and bringing as much as we could to the inmate population and creating programs and bringing humanity to the table. And we caught a lot of flack for that,
Good.
but I think we've changed a lot of lives too. So I'm willing to take the flack.
Same here. I hope I can only hope that lives have been enhanced and made better by what we were able to accomplish. So
Yeah, and the things that we weren't able to accomplish, but that they all knew that we were desperately trying to.
yes,
So
that's for sure. That's for
so
sure.
yeah. So Tamara is far more interesting than I am, and I'm sure you guys are going to
That
be more
is not
enthralled with
true.
what she brings to the table.
No, that is not true. That is not
This
true.
woman has, it is the truth. She has the coolest life ever. She, coming from a strict Mormon background to then having been in a cult, which I wouldn't wish upon anybody, but it definitely leads to great stories, right? And and it's shaped her in ways that have only made her a more amazing person. And yeah, she's super interesting, and I hope some great stories come out in this. We're going to start trying to do these once a week, and just a couple of middle-aged ladies talking about silliness and ups and downs and annoying children that just show up out of nowhere a week early for your birthday because they looked at the calendar wrong. But at least he thought to show up. So
That's the big one.
that is the big one. But he got surprised. He got put to work a little bit this morning and he just went to go take a nap. More on that later. I have a ridiculous story for you. But
I can't wait for that. I've been waiting with bated breath, by the way.
I know, for all of you listening, I refuse to tell her the story until I told it to all of you because I am ashamed and I want to share my shame with the masses.
That makes it even more exciting.
I can't wait to tell you because you know me more than damn near anybody but David, and you're going to be like, I'm not surprised, but oh my God.
That is hilarious. I can't
And no,
wait.
it's not a new pet. I didn't get a new pet, but more on that later. So,
Oh, that opens up a whole nother door.
did you think it was a pet?
It's a rabbit hole. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure.
You're like, is there a pig?
Well, did you get that whatever, I can't remember which reel it was, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, about that porch cow?
Yes.
I was like, dude, you have to get a porch cow.
I saw one the other day that it was like this lady, and I don't know if somebody sent it to me or if I just saw it. It was like she's holding this just raggedy looking puppy. It's hilariously cute. And she's like, I bought this with money. I gave somebody money and they just gave this to me and it lives in my house now. And it was so funny. And David was like, oh my God.
So I'm waiting for the potbelly pig or the porch cow.
Yes, it's neither one of those yet. But look who just joined the party. Sue wanted to be on camera.
Oh, Miss
Say
Sue.
hi,
Hi,
dude.
baby.
Hi,
baby.
Hi, my love. Yeah.
That's the prettiest baby.
She's like, where's that voice coming from? Silly girl.
Am I tripping you out, baby? Hi, Sue.
Silly girl.
Hi, baby
She
Sue.
only likes me sometimes. She's a daddy's girl, 100%. Which, Frenchies were always my dream breed. And thanks to the prison having me away 3 weeks at a time to roll out a new process, not program, she bonded with David. And so here we go. But yeah.
So I would like to talk about Joy Reefer.
The Reaper.
It's half and half with me. I've warmed up to the first name. It took me for a while, but I have warmed up to the first name, so I do catch myself calling her Joy. But Reefer, most everybody knows if my reference to Reefer as my friend Joy. So
not as in cannabis.
It's no, I know, not cannabis, which makes it even more funny. But so I met Joy. We bonded over our boys, and over the years of our friendship, how would I even describe you? Like,
chaotic.
No, you're hilarious. Some of the shit that you come up with, and I could never come up with it in a million years. Like, it takes my mind serious work to come up with some funny shit, and I think it's funny, and then you come up with even more funny shit. So I'm looking forward to that. There's that. But no, I've watched my friend over the years, and she she owns an animal rescue, and I was privileged to do a ride along with her. And no, it was the coolest thing ever. Like
Are you talking about the fake pregnant?
the ride along? Yeah. Oh no, that was the other ride along. Oh shit, I forgot about that. No, that's a whole nother. You'll have to tell that story. But my ride, remember I did the ride along with you with the lady with the that you were trying to convince her to give the cat the treatments that were kind of
Oh,
pricey,
yes.
but to save the kitty, and the kitty got saved, and how you were giving him the what do you call them, the fluids that it starts with an S.
Yes, the subcutaneous fluids.
Yes, and
Yes.
just going to every person in the community, and just the compassion that you have, and just being able to work with the public, and I don't know, I'm an introvert, and I'm a naturally nervous person, so I've always been drawn to your confidence and your ability to communicate, and all with humor. So I am completely bonded in my friendship with Joy, in just who she is. She's an amazing human being, and the care, and we bonded over the care. Well, I don't know if how to even say this. I'm gonna get all tongue tied, but the concern for the incarcerated individual coming back into the communities, and uh, to
And
make
all
sure
the
that
havoc that creates for a
yes,
female in the prison. Yep.
yes, and to make sure, and I was drawn to that. Drawn, just her confidence. I remember you were the grievance coordinator, and you did so well in that field, and you were able to answer questions, and deal with topics that we would all be like, oh shit, no, and I don't know, I just absolutely have admired you. So I'm kind of introducing you, but not because I'm awkward, and there you go.
But you're
um
not awkward and you're underselling yourself, so stop it.
but anyway, but yeah, just that, I think probably the big thing that you and I ha- bonded in the workplace is that concern
Yeah.
that we're releasing these guys into our communities, and we're not providing the programming that, speaking of DOC, the programming and the things that they need to equip themselves to get out and be successful. And that was a tremendous uphill battle for us as females.
Well, and
And
the
so
treatment while they're in there, right? It's not even just
yes,
about the release and the programming, as much as you and I had so much passion for that, but it was also the compassion and the humanity that they deserved while they're in there that too many people forget, you know?
yes,
And
yes.
so, yeah. It's my
So
macaroni. Let's say hi.
I'll say, where's my
It's my macaroni. And
what
that little one, real quick, not to interrupt you, but this is who I went and picked up before the show. This is
uh,
Widget.
and that was the one that I thought was
She
Murphy's. What's
was
that?
found wandering in a no, she was found in a dirt lot wandering in Safford. And our IT guy for
Oh,
Safford found her, which is why her name is Widget. And she is
oh,
getting adopted by a friend of mine that I went through the academy with almost 19 years ago. And I went to go pick her up because tomorrow morning I'm taking her into Tucson for her spay. And then she goes
oh,
back and then she gets officially adopted by her new mama. But isn't she the
oh,
cutest?
she is so cute.
She is
Eh,
very
eh,
cute.
how old is she?
Maybe 3 months, and she's got the shortest little stubby legs. Look at those little stubby legs.
Oh, she's a cute monster.
Yeah, she is a cutie. Oh my gosh. But anyways, David was so happy when we found a foster for her because he was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna try to keep her."
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought.
Yeah, and I was like, "Nope, you don't got to worry about it. I'm saving spot number 5 in the pack of dogs for a giant, so you don't got to worry." And he was like, no, we have enough of a pack." Because we also have the clouder of cats, right? So the family's big enough, and according to him. But I got a story for you that that leads to how big I want the family to be. So, do you want me to dive into the story?
Is this a story? This is the one I've been waiting for.
It's the one you've been waiting for. Are you
Okay.
ready? Because we're
All
on the
right. I am
topic.
ready. I am ready.
So, as you know, one of my coping mechanisms is I have a little bit of a shopping addiction, right? A little bit,
Okay.
and usually that manifests itself in Amazon and definitely Temu.
Timu.
Nobody's paying me to say these names, but holy shit, Temu ropes me in, right? And so I've been really good lately, and I have been not spending because I just recently refinanced my mortgage for a giant plot of land that is stressing me out right now. More on that some other time. And so I've been good. So we were sitting here the other day, and David pulls out the yardstick because he's like, we have to adjust the bed every night because we sit here and watch TV, and we think we like lean back on the wall and it causes the bed to kind of scoot away a little bit.
Right.
And so we bought like this really cheap but nice little bed frame that's still low enough for Murphy to kind of get up through, and it still doesn't do it. And so David was like, I think we sink because of the way the mattress sits on this frame, because this frame isn't meant for one of these foamy mattresses, right?
Right.
So he goes, I'm going to measure the frame real quick. And I've been saving this piece of wood outside like a true guy, right? I've been saving this piece of wood, and I'm going to cut down the wood, and we're going to put it under the head of the mattress, and we're going to see if that keeps us from scooching out. And I was like, okay. Now, mind you, I have had this really weird, constant thought and idea in my head because we have Sue that you guys all saw, right? Little Doot. And then we have Macaroni that you saw. And then we have Murphy, who you haven't seen yet, but she's a little Yorkie poo. She doesn't take up a lot of space. And then I recently got Squatch, who takes up a lot of space. And because I have stupid feet, I sleep with my feet hanging over the edge of the bed because it's more comfortable for me that way. And so there's this room between my pillow and the head of the bed, and that's where Squatch sleeps. Right? She's like my little halo. She sleeps up there, and it's the cutest thing ever. And when she wakes up, I can feel her moving to try to contort herself to come over and say good morning to mom. And she kisses my head and plays with my hair. Right? It's adorable. But like I said, I would like a fifth dog, and I would like it to be a giant. And I was observing the lack of space the other night with Squatch growing, right? So in my mind, I was like, I wonder how I can make the king size bed a little bit bigger. Like, could I put a twin next to it? Or could I get like a queen and a twin and play around with that? So I've just been passively, because, hold on, this little puppy is not potty trained. I'm not going to let her walk around on the bed. So I've been passively, like, randomly Googling mattress sizes, right? And I found out that I can't put the king with the twin because the twins aren't as long as kings, and that would drive my OCD absolutely insane. So I had put it out of my mind for like a week or so, and David had the yardstick out, and he left it in the room when he went outside to go do guy stuff and use the power tool and cut the wood, right? And it scared all the dogs, and all 4 of my vicious guardian protectors climbed into my lap in fear so I could protect them. So yeah, so the whole reason for the guardian dog is kind of not working out too well so far. Tony showed up this morning. They don't know her. Squatch doesn't know her or him. Squatch doesn't know him. She greeted him with open arms. So there's that. Whatever.
You're doomed.
Yeah. So anyways, so I was like, now would be the time for me to do some measurements on mattresses, right? And so I measured the wall, the wall under the window, right?
Right. Right.
And it's 121 inches. So then I went back to looking at mattress sizes, and the next thing I know, I'm on mattress purchasing sites. And I tell David, hey, so this is what I think I'm about to do. And he was like, okay. And I'm like, you're supposed to like not agree with me. Like you're an enabler right now. Right? I'm like, what are you doing? And I then go to another site. Oh, because it said my HSA would pay for part of it, right? Because mattresses are very important. And so I was like, I have a health savings account.
Oh no, how cool is that? That's right.
So I was like, let me try. And it didn't work because only part of it, because like it was a bundle with like sheets and stuff, right? And so it was like, no, you have to pay for it and then we'll help you have your HSA reimburse you. And I was like, well, I don't know about that. So then I ended up going to another site and I was still just playing around with stuff. And it also said that, you know, the HSA, and I actually liked this offer better. And so I was like, well, let me try the HSA thing again. And it said the same thing, that they would help me reimburse it, but I would just pay for it. And then it had the option, because I don't have money in my account right now. I should not be looking at mattresses, right? At all.
Right.
And so it had the affirm button.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And it said, oh, for this low price, a month with no interest, you could
Oh.
finalize your order. And it said, you know, click to see if you qualify. And so I was like, okay. So I booped it and I entered what it wanted and it said I qualified and I hit the next button. Still not sure, right? If I actually wanted to do this, right? Because it's awesome and I want it, but it's also like a little bit reckless and a little bit stupid and a lot of bit stupid. And it said, oh, your order is confirmed. And I was like, well, I guess that's the universe telling me that I needed 2 queen size beds with adjustable frames. 2. Because the queen is 60 inches across. And so 2 of them will fit perfectly to turn half of my bedroom into a bed.
It's gonna look cool though.
It's gonna look so cool. And they're adjustable frames, right? And so I was like, well, David and I both have acid reflux and he's been dealing with a lot of heartburn lately. And so adjusting the bed up would be nice, right? Because like right now we have like a bed wedge to help him, right? And so like, well, we don't need the bed wedge, right? And so yeah.
That's exciting though.
It's so exciting.
Like you were paying, like you really.
And so this just happened like Sunday or Saturday. I don't remember which day it was. It was one of those 2 days, right? And today is Tuesday, right?
Yes. Right.
The mattresses, they got here. They're here. They got here today.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That is fast. That's so cool though. Beds.
So remember when I moved in and we unboxed this mattress? How it was in like the tube?
Yep.
They're in the same thing. They're all squished together, right? And so I told him, because Tony's here, and I was gonna just do like, I like to do silly shit, like just not tell Tony that we do something and then just let him walk in. I do that quite regularly, right? Like when we had a dog returned, he was a American Bulldog pit mix, gorgeous, huge boy. His name was Busy. And I loved that boy so much, and he was returned and he was just just a heartthrob. It just gorgeous and just so sweet. And we didn't tell Tony that like we had this giant dog that came back into care, and he walks in. It was when he was getting ready to move to Tennessee, and he walks in to store all of his stuff, and I'm just sitting there with this giant dog on my lap, and he glances over and he kept pretending like he didn't notice, right? And so, and then we bought new outside furniture once, and Tony walks out. I think he was living here at the time, and he walks out and he's like, "Are you just low-key flexing on me?" Because we're just sitting there just chilling in like these gravity, you know, those ones that like the
Yep.
gravity defying
the
ones.
big ones. Yep.
And so I like doing dumb shit like that. And so I wasn't expecting Tony yet. So I was like, perfect. Everything will be here. It'll be all set up. He'll walk in and just half of the room will be a bed. And he'll be like, what the hell have you done now? Right. And so, but he's here. And so, we were going to wake up early this morning and organize the shed because I've been putting that off for probably 4 or 5 months. And because it was supposed to be a fall project while the weather was nice, and we started it, and then it got winter and the excuse was too cold, and then it got spring and it was supposed to happen again. And now here we are on April 15th, and it's already it's already hot as balls out there. And so the excuse was like, now we got to wait for fall again, right? But with 2 queen size beds showing up, here's what I need to do. I recently bought random beautiful rustic kind of boho furniture from a friend of mine that's also one of our fosters, that's just sitting in the living room. Oh, I can't wait for you to see it. So oh, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. It's gorgeous. It's got me and you written all over it.
Oh,
and there's a chair in there that when I saw it, I was like, I have to figure out how to incorporate this chair into the wedding somehow, because I don't know why it just screams wedding at me, right?
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, the deal was get the shed finished, and we threw a lot of shit away. Like, I'm a hoarder, right? And so I purged a lot of stuff. I mean, dumpsters full of stuff already, right? So it's already pretty roomy. And then we have all of that stuff on the patio that's like needing to go to the shed. And I want to take all the storage stuff that's in that second guest bedroom in the house, and I want to put it in the patio for easy access. That's all of our day-to-day rescue stuff, right? All our sheets, our towels, and stuff like that. Bowls, food, travel containers. And so some of that can go into the storage room, and some of that's going to go out here on the patio. That would empty that room. And I was going to put just that furniture in there. But now, this king-size bed, because there's actually nothing fucking wrong with it, right? Like, I mean, it's 7 years old, and I don't know how often you're supposed to change your mattress, but there's actually no reason to not. This is a great mattress still. So this bed is going to go in that room with all of that beautiful rustic furniture, and then the other room where you stayed last time that has kind of like the retro vibe is going to stay retro. And so that was the plan. So Tony found himself helping carry stuff from the patio to the shed this morning. And I think tomorrow,
napping, right?
Yeah, that's why he's napping. And he doesn't know about the mattresses. I found them up front. They were already here when I went to go pick up Widget from her foster mom. And look at this. She's asleep on my lap now. She's so damn cute. So anyways, so I already saw them. So David has a headache. And so I was like, well, can we at least get those mattresses dragged in? We'll tuck them away. We're still waiting on the adjustable frames. And the free bundle had the mattress protector, a sheet set, 2 pillows with each bed, and pillowcases for them.
Oh, wow. What kind of pillows?
And yeah. So if they're anything like the pillows that came with this bed, I didn't like them because they were also that memory foam. And we just recently got these really, really, really nice feather pillows on Amazon. And so we'll probably just stay using these, and then have those over there for like emergency use or whatever, you know? And then And then, yeah. And so then now we'll have room for a giant dog. And so I told David this, right? I said, why didn't you tell me no? Right? Like, why didn't you tell me no? Like, why are you buying 2 queen size mattresses? Who does that? And he says, because, my dear, I don't tell you no. Right? That was his answer. I don't tell you no. And I said, okay, well, keep
What a
that
good
energy.
man. What a good
All right,
man.
keep that energy, because he's already told me no on a pig or a large breed dog, right? And so I was like, okay, but the whole reason for needing more mattress space is because we need room for the 5th dog. And so now it would be really silly for you to suddenly start telling me no when it comes to the dog. And then he goes, well, I do tell you no on animals. And I'm like, well, but you didn't tell me no on the mattresses that I bought specifically for the animals. So your
Animals.
math is not mathing, right? And
No.
so
You're outnumbered.
and so he is laying next to me, pretending like he's not hearing this. Oh, look who's on the frame a little bit. Look, this is Cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, it's my Cheesy Poof. Cheese is a very rare orange female. And she came to Wilcox all the way from Tucson in the undercarriage of a car, holding on for dear life.
Gosh, I
And
cannot believe
somehow
that.
did not fall out. And then she got here and she decided to get really sick. And at 8 weeks old, got all the way down to about 7 ounces. And I was convinced she was going to die, and she was nothing but skin and bones. And then she decided, well, I guess I'll stay. And so I decided that she should stay. And so she is one of our babies. And yes, it's Macaroni and Cheese, because when Macaroni came into the house, very, very scared. Cheese was the only one that pulled her in and started grooming her and cuddling her and calmed Macaroni down. And so Cheese became Cheese because she's orange, and it became Macaroni and Cheese. And there you have it. You'll meet everybody in time. There's no food here, Macaroni. Stop.
Does she like treats? Do you give her treats?
Which one, macaroni or cheese? Everybody gets
Or
treats.
cheese. Well, some cats, like I've house sat, and some cats aren't into the treats. They like look at you like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what were you thinking? Are you dumb?
Yeah, no,
And you're like,
she
but this
likes,
is a treat. You're supposed to like treats.
yeah, she likes treats. She likes people food. She loves, let me see if I can put her in position. Hold on, I'm going to have Macaroni hold you up for a minute. Macaroni? No? Okay. She said I'm not going to hold you. This is Cheese's favorite napping position. She'll fall asleep right now, and she'll lay here on her back like a baby, and she'll sleep for as long as I let her. She's a little bit
So
spoiled.
cool.
Oh, it's so cute. She's my little cheesy poo.
That is awesome.
So that's my story. That's the story that I was withholding from you all morning.
Well, I think that's a fantastic story.
I
Actually,
will send
I
you
can just
pictures.
envision that room like with pillows, and yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, like a boho vibe, right? Make it look
Exactly. I'm
like
thinking
it's
like
cushiony. Yeah.
tapestries, cushions. Yeah,
Oh,
just like, and that's a happy room anyway.
yes. We're going to all these pictures on the wall. We're going to some of them are held up by nails. I initially put them up with command strips, and some of them kept falling down. So I got the little tiny nails like I should have done to begin with. And we're going to go through, and I want to take them all down and put them, make sure everything's up by a nail. And we got to rearrange a couple of them, because the way we have it is like that's Steven and Cricket, and that's Friday over there, right? So we had the ones that have passed away over our bed. And since then, we have lost 2 more. And so we've been meaning to put those 2 over anyway. And so we're probably going to rearrange a couple of things in here. But all of these pictures, if you ever see them in the background, those are all our babies. Since those pictures were put up, though, we have to buy more. We have a couple of more since then.
That is crazy. That's an awesome thing, though.
Tony walked
That's
in
so
last time he
awesome.
was here and he goes, "So are you gonna?" He realized what it was and he's like, "So are you gonna quit keeping animals now?" And David goes, "Yeah, about that because we had Echo and Cheese and Silver macaroni, and now we have Squatchy too. We got to get pictures of. So ridiculousness."
Oh, oh, so sweet though. So
So
sweet.
enough about me and my silliness. Let's talk about you. So Tamra here has been tasked with joining the workforce again after retiring from the Department of Corrections after over 20 years. So how I know you said you were going on a job interview yesterday. How did that go?
Oh, that's that's so funny. Uh, I feel like I'm five.
You know.
It was so dumb, and it was a super. And I don't want to downplay it. I'm not going to say where it was, or, but it was a very, very low stress kind of entry level type job. I just I chose it because I thought, I want to get out in the community. I've been so busy just focused on the Department of Corrections, and every day you're on, there's no ability to be off while you're there. And so I just kind of wanted to integrate back into the community, I guess. And so I'm thinking this is going to be chill. I'm going to meet people. I'm, going to be a blessing to them. I'm going to, make them feel good when they come in, blah, blah, blah. So I, pranced my happy ass up there. And so I get in, the lady's late. And so I'm
The
thinking,
lady interviewing you was late?
yes.
Okay.
And so I'm standing there and they're all looking at me like I'm the crazy one because I get there early, right? And so I got there like 10 minutes early. Wasn't, extreme. And so I'm standing there and I'm kind of a little bit awkward because they don't really give me a place to, like, she told me to go all the way at the end of the store. Not the lady that was interviewing me, but the lady that saw me, um, or that I told her I was there for. And she says, go all the way over there, sit in some chairs, and then come back at noon, right? Which is my interview time. And I'm
What?
like, what? Like, what does
Like
that
go sit in the
mean?
corner and then come back?
Yeah, yeah, and it was all the way across. Again, we're not gonna say where it was, but it was all the way across. And so, and they're not gonna like call me and say, "Hey, can you come? I'm here now." And so, and this is before I realized that she's gonna be late. So I'm sitting there and awkwardly waiting, and then, I wait, 11:58, and I'm like, I have got to be there on time. I'm not gonna be late, because, me being the rule follower that
Heavens
I
to
am.
Murgatroyd.
And so I go and I'm there, and the lady's like, she's not here yet. And she said, so just wait for her. And so I'm standing there awkwardly looking around, like, people are looking at me like I'm this weird ass Harold. And so I so finally about 10 after noon, she comes in looking annoyed. And then the lady says she's got to put her stuff down and situate
Right.
herself. She'll be out there, right? So again, I'm waiting awkwardly, no real place to stage or anything. So I finally get in there and I'm thinking, I just want to be a blessing. I just, blah blah blah. So I get there, and by the time I'm done, I am so flippin' deflated by her body language. I could completely tell that I did not have that job.
Jeez.
And I thought, and it affected me because, I came in there with, I just want to be a blessing. I want to work my ass off. I want to do a really good job, and but simple, not, where somebody I have to worry about somebody's going to get stabbed to death, or,
Yeah.
commit self-harm, or that I'm going to be
Overdose.
sued,
Yep.
overdose, or that I'm going to be sued for something, and every day we go in like that. And so I just, anyway, so yeah, that was my experience, and it was quite deflating. And I picked up myself from that, but it took a little bit because it just seemed like such a simple job. And anyway, but
That's
that's neither here nor
heartbreaking
there.
though. Like you, like, I'm not minimizing, you know, there's, all jobs are important, right? And you're saying it's a retail type thing, and I love to shop, as we just identified, right? So I'm not minimizing the need for retail, but you just retired from over 2 decades in corrections, and you retired as entry level administration, right? And
Right.
so you were in charge of making very, very big decisions on a regular basis, and a lot was riding on that. And you're applying for an entry level position at a store where, I mean, we're talking entry level, right? And so, I mean, I don't know
Right.
what kind of store it is, but I'm picturing you like folding shirts and telling people where to find like toilet paper, and you know, so it's okay. So what is it about you that doesn't qualify, and that, I don't know, but she was 10 minutes late, and then she made you wait longer to get situated.
Right.
So, you know, that should tell you kind of, I think, what kind of a supervisor she would have been, and maybe it's a blessing in disguise because you don't tolerate that. You would be very frustrated with that because of your sense of justice and your sense of expectation, and I think you would have struggled with that. And so maybe it's, I mean, we don't know that you didn't get the job. Maybe you did get it, but I
And
think
maybe
it's a
I
blessing.
overthought it. Maybe I overthought it, but I think, and when you say that, it brings some kind of I don't know. It makes me think that I'm too rigid and too principle oriented, and that I do need to work on that and
Well, okay,
loosen it a little bit. I guess. I guess
you
I
are,
don't know. I don't know.
you're not too rigid. You are rigid. You are rigid, but there's no way in hell I would be able to be best friends with a too rigid person, right?
Oh,
You're
that's
rigid, but
true. That's
or
true. I
you're
forgot about
rigid,
that.
because of your because of your religious upbringings, right? There was a lot of rigidity there. There was no room for decision making and interpretation and doing what you want, right? So you had that instilled in you at a very young age, and then the principle oriented, again, we're going to go back to over 2 decades in prison, right? And if that's not principle oriented, I don't know what is, right? You know, it's
Yeah.
constantly, it's always about integrity and ethics and principle and all of those things, right? And it, you're going to have a certain level of principle orientation that I think should be. You are very principle oriented, and that is, but not too much. That is in a good way, you know. And I think too many people these days lose sight of having some principle, you know. And principles are, in my opinion, principles are like morals, and they're dictated by personal beliefs. And so what you're principled in, I'm not necessarily principled in, but whatever your principles are, I think you should stick to them. And I think that's what makes you a genuine person or not. Right. And so I don't think that you should change any of that. And I hope you don't. You know, you managed to go over 2 decades in the institution, not letting that place change you. Like, you stayed true to who you are and to your compassion and to your goals and your beliefs, and you didn't let that shit change you. Don't let some fucking bitch that was 10 minutes late for an interview after they made you go sit in the
Jesus.
corner like you did something wrong. Don't let that change you.
That was so bizarre.
That is bizarre.
Clear across this giant facility where, you don't, and and the thing of it is it's all riding on your timeliness. My timeliness. So if I decide, or to sit, and I thought, well, she says to come back, so you but that's the service desk person. It wasn't the actual interviewer that told me to go to the place across the
Yeah, but
store.
she didn't just make that up. That's got to be the way they do it.
It's so weird. There should be like like a chair or something where
A
you could
staging
like,
area. Yeah.
yeah. And or another thing I thought is just stay there until they come and get you,
Right.
kind of
And
thing.
then
So
they
then
make that clear when they tell you to sit there. They say, "We will come and get you."
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so, I could have got a cup of coffee or whatever and waited and just until they come and get me, and then I go ushered into but that didn't happen. I was just so it was really awkward. It was weird and it was awkward and then and then to add insult to injury. So I'm wearing this. So I thought, okay, how should I dress? Because you know, you're I didn't
Yeah.
want to underdress because I wanted to show my earnest for the position.
Right.
And so I dress like I would at as administration at work, right? I have a flowy top on, I have sort of pencil type pants and flats. And I think I'm not overdressed, underdressed, whatever. And so I forgot to double check on those, those stringies that you
Oh
put on
no! From the yeah.
the hanger shit. And so I go completely deflated, feeling like I completely lost in life. 61 years old. I'm a loser. Blah blah blah. The whole 9 yards.
The inner voice.
Yes. And then I go and I open my car door and the string is hanging.
I'm sorry, Chief.
So yeah, that was I forgot to mention that when I was
That is
yeah.
great. That
Yeah,
is
so that
great.
was I was like, my luck. I can't even think about this right now. I'm retired, right? And it's Monday, and I have my grandson for the weekends. We love to hang out and do all kinds of stuff, but um, I I could have gotten him from school to help my daughter out, but I'm like, nope, nope. I'm gonna sit here and feel sorry for myself and watch Alaska's Last Frontier. I'm gonna I'm gonna binge watch Alaska the Last Frontier, and I did
That
that.
is
Damn it!
great. That is great.
And then
I just got done.
I took a nap.
I love it. I got done binge watching my Criminal Minds. I started all the way from the beginning again because it's called Resurrection. They resurrected the whole show, right? And so there's like 2 or 3 seasons of the new. And so I was like, I got to start from the beginning. It's been a long time. And so I've been binge watching them, and I just got caught up. And I was driving home yesterday after building this chicken coop for
Oh,
a
I
little
wanted to ask
over
you about.
4 hours. I'm
So,
sunburnt. Like,
were you
I'm
helping somebody with a chicken coop, or
so, yes,
is it for
it's
you?
Carla. It's Carla. So
Okay, okay,
Carla has chickens, and they're so cute. I took pictures with them. I have to send them to you.
you
And
got to.
so she has gout in her finger,
Oh
and
no.
her finger hurts so bad that even the slightest bit of pressure is reducing her to tears. And the chickens are almost old enough. She's got 2 little sets. She's got 3 of them that are ready to start spending a little bit of time outside. And then she's got 3. Ow, jeez. Just whooped my ass. She's she's turning into a spicy habanero cheese. But pepper jack. But
Ghost pepper.
she so she was trying to build this coop, and it hurt too bad. And so we had to go to Sierra Vista yesterday anyway. And so I said, we're going to come by and I'm going to build this coop for you. Cause I love building like things that show up with directions and like all the
Right,
tools and
right,
stuff.
right, right, right.
Oh my God.
Well,
Hey,
and I was thinking it was a precursor for you doing your own chickens.
I mean, I might have hinted a little bit to David about chickens. I'm not going to lie.
Yep, yep. You're gonna do that.
I'm trying to warm him up to it. Sue Ellen. So we go over there, and I'm like, I've got this. I build things like this all the time. Like, I'm not going to let a little chicken coop whoop me. It whooped me hard. It called me a punk and a bitch and some more shit. It totally, I'm sunburnt. I've got like this weird shoulder pain from when I had my indigestion that landed me in the ER. I was trying to stretch it out, right? Because like it felt like indigestion and gas, and so they say if you take your elbows and you put them like really high on the wall and you like push, that's like supposed to be a really good. Well, I pulled my shoulder doing that, and it's hurt ever since. And that was a couple of months ago. And so that's just, I'm 45, I'm 46 next month. And I guess you just got to be careful on how you relieve your gas at this age, because I pulled out my shoulder trying to burp. And so it still hurts months later. And so that flared up, and my neck was hurting and my lower back was hurting. And, you got to stand weird to do stuff. And so like my glutes and my thighs are all sore. And I was just like done. I was tired yesterday, and
it was so hot.
And it got, well, it was in Sierra Vista. It got cool and breezy. It wasn't too bad. Like I sunburned, but I didn't realize I was hot. I was thirsty, but I just chalked that up to having only slammed an energy drink on my way to Sierra Vista and nothing else. But after we got done building, Carla and I went and ran a couple errands real quick, and then came back. Her husband's name is Dave too. So the Daves hung out, and Squatchy was there. And I've got pictures of her just being completely done too, from being spoiled by her Aunt Carla and Uncle Dave. And I was just so done. And I was like, I just want to go home, and I just want to eat carbs, and and I just want to watch my Criminal Minds. And then I was halfway home, and I was like, oh, I finished the Criminal Minds. I don't have it to binge. And I was so sad. And I was like, okay, now I just got to catch up on my regular shows. And I was heartbroken, because it has taken me, I mean, we're talking like season 17. It has taken me months.
Oh, that's a long time.
And months of binging. And all of a sudden, they're just not in my life. And I was like, I needed you. So I get it. I get it. Binging and napping is my go-to as well. And so, yeah. So I'm a little sad because it's not there for me to binge right now. But I have to get back into my show Ghosts. Have you ever watched Ghosts?
No. Oh,
it's on Paramount. It's a little half-hour show where like she inherits this big house from her uncle.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch it because you will die. It is so funny. It's not as scary. It's a funny, like I don't want to give too much of it away, but like when they're moving into the place, she falls down the stairs and she has like a concussion or whatever. And when she comes back from the hospital, she can see the ghosts that live in the house, and hilarity ensues. And it's like ghosts from like, I mean, there's like a Viking, and then there's like, it's just a Victorian era. It is great. And I guess it's a remake from a British version of Ghosts, right? And I haven't started that one yet, but you have to watch that show. You will love it. It is so funny.
Oh, I'll have to.
If you have, I think it's on Paramount. It's on Paramount, I think. And so if you have Paramount, it might be on some other streaming networks too, but I think you would enjoy it because it's a good little quirky, funny kind of like, it's adorable.
Yeah. I enjoy British humor too, of course.
And you do. And
British
so you
humor.
might,
yes.
So you might like the original Ghosts too.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. Yeah, have you seen the Derry Girls? It's Derry. It's some Irish show. That's a funny show, but it's I believe it. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but
we don't currently have Netflix because I was trying to save money.
Oh, you know what? You know how much that that is insane what they're charging. So
Yeah.
I was my sister in Utah, she watches, I just lost my earbud, but who cares? She watches um British Bake Off, and she doesn't have Netflix. So I let her use my code every once in a while. She'll text me and say, "Hey, what's your code?" Well, they caught on and they're like, "Oh, this person doesn't live with you." And so, I'd say, "Well, we're traveling, whatever." So that Netflix wasn't having any of that. So
They
they
changed their user thing where like the primary account has to something about
reside
having
in the
to,
same household. Yeah.
or
Like
you
in
have to
this.
log in to a certain device every so often, or it's something weird now they're doing. Yeah.
So my son, who is my son, he's stationed in Colorado. We've always been able to use all of our stuff, right? They're my
Yeah.
kids. Well, they took that away, and we had to pay. So now I'm paying for my family, the basic, my kids in the household, um, and him $30 a month.
That's stupid.
And so I'm gonna get a hold of all the kids and tell them you're on your own, because I'm not paying $30. I just retired, for God's sake,
Yeah. Pay for your own Netflix. It's cheaper that way.
I know. Yeah. So they're gonna get a call from mom. I was trying to include everybody, and I felt bad because, I help the girls more than I help him. And
I know, but
that's a whole nother thing.
that's a
And
whole
so,
nother topic,
yeah,
but
that's
it's,
another day.
well, my similarity there is Tony was on my Verizon plan, and then he wanted to be a grown ass man and have his own life, and so he got his own phone plan, and he claims that they told him that they were transferring over the debt because I had just bought him that phone, and that he would pay it off so that way he could transfer to this new whatever plan. And I was like, well, I was sentimental about his phone number. So I was like, well, I don't want to lose the phone number. So I asked Verizon to add it to my tablet. And just bare minimum, they said it was going to be like $11 a month
Right. Right.
just to keep that number alive because I didn't want anybody else to get the number. All of a sudden, I'm looking at my bill and I'm like, why is my bill so high? Oh no, I'm still paying off Tony's phone and they're charging me for a full plan on that. So I made them knock it back down to just the keep the phone line alive, but I'm still paying, the monthly or whatever for the phone. And so I told them, I said, listen, you either rejoin my plan and pay for your fucking phone. Sorry, F bomb, I cuss. Or you pay off the phone, something. So now he's like, okay, I'll rejoin your plan. And randomly, like 2 months ago, he sent me like $300. And I'm assuming it's for the phone, but that's like a drop in the bucket of like months. We're talking months. Before he went to Tennessee, he decided he was his own adult and he got this new phone number. And so, and that was 6, 7, 8 months ago.
Yep. Oh,
And
at
these
least.
phones, I
Yeah.
got them all at the same time. And so that phone's not going to be paid off. None of them are going to be paid off until 2 months after I retire. And so I thought that was really cool. When I bought them,
Oh,
I was like, how cool. Like I'm going to be retired by the time I get a new phone. And that was a really cool milestone, is to be able to have something so tangible with retirement. I
you're
thought that was
so
pretty cool.
close.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, you're
so
so
close.
close. So close. And yeah, so but we'll talk about
Oh, we've got
your
so many things to talk about. Are you
yeah,
kidding?
I
You and I
know. I
have
know. This
lived
is
interesting lives.
this is a little teeny blip, little tiny.
This, yeah, I titled this introductions, but honestly, like, I don't even think we've fully gotten to let
Oh,
anybody see who we really are because we are an interesting pairing. And I've got other things I was gonna bring up and say, but we're already at the hour mark. And so here's where we decide, do we want this to be a 60-minute or a 90-minute? The advice I've gotten was a 60-minute show is a
I'm
more
thinking
proper length.
Yeah, because attention,
Attention deficit disorder is real.
there you
Yeah.
go. Um,
And then, whenever we are
we can
able
talk
to
for
start,
you and I can talk for hours.
this could be a 6-hour stream if we let it.
We gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta
Yeah.
let you go. Blah blah
And then,
blah
oh,
blah
by
blah.
the way,
And by the way, and oh my gosh, I thought about this. Did
and
you hear
so,
this?
we can always change the length of time when it's a live podcast and we're actually like having people call in and tell their stories or ask us silly questions.
Yes.
So I would say an hour for now. Text me the name of where you interviewed yesterday because I am dying to know.
Okay, I will for sure.
Okay, my
God,
friend.
I felt so strange.
I gotta know. I understand we should not tell the masses and we won't. But
Yes, we
I
will not.
gotta know.
All right,
So,
for sure.
all right, I'm gonna hit end right now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. It gives you instructions afterwards, so don't hang up.
Oh, it does. So I just you. So what do I
Stay
do?
on. It's because we did the test one, and you're supposed to stay on. Okay, guys, we're looking old. Go ahead and turn off the recording. Don't listen to us anymore. So you're supposed to. It says stay. It says stay in there until it does whatever it does, and it finishes, and then it'll give you the download option, and then you can put it on YouTube.
Okay.
But I saw something else before we got on because we had all these technical difficulties before the show. So
Sorry about that.
it was both of our fault. And so I found something else that I want to try, and we might switch over to that next week. But anyways, okay. I love you bunches, my friend.
Okay. I love you bunches.
All right, bye.
Bye.